Yes, we're live. Hi, Flavia.
Hi everyone. Hi Susana.
Hi. Hey, everyone. So, thank you for joining us. I'm an editor and marketing manager at Traveling and Living in Peru, and Flavia is our destination expert. And she and I are going to walk you through a little bit about the situation that we are in regarding international travel in and out of Peru. It's been a tough few months for everyone, and we know you guys have a lot of questions. We've received a lot of questions about what we're when we expect to open the borders. So we are going to answer all of that. And Flavia has a lot of the safety protocols that are being implemented by airports, airlines, etc. So take it away, Flavia.
Hi everyone. How are you doing? As Susana already introduced me, I'm Flavio Hurtado and I'm the destination expert for traveling and living in Peru. So, to start this presentation, I know that a lot of you have been asking about when borders will open. So, we want to address this question at the beginning, and official information, we still do not have any date when borders will be open, official dates. However, the Minister of International Commerce and Tourism, she mentioned that it's probably they will open borders at the end of the year or starting the next year. This information is not 100% official. Then the president of the Camera of International Commerce and Tourism, Carlos Canales, he is suggesting to reopen the borders earlier because, as we know, this is something that is affecting a lot of us. I know that a lot of you wants to go home, be with your loved ones, even some of our coworkers needs to travel too. So definitely we're trying to keep an eye on this information, and as soon as with this we get this information, we're gonna share it with you in our social media, in all our channels in Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube, and of course our web page. So that's the information that we have until now.
Yeah. So beyond that, whenever the borders open, whether it's October, November, or end of the year, we've gotten some questions about when will it be safe to travel to visit Peru. And so, Flavia, give us a little bit about suggestions.
Well, right now, we with everything that is going on, we and how some regions are being under quarantine again. What we are thinking and we are suggesting is that tourism might be starting to get a little bit better by March, the end of March, or the beginning of April. Also, for tourism purposes, we do suggest, that you can actually, if you want to book something, you can start like doing it by that time. So it's like a more uh, low risk to get things canceled. Also, you know that you'll know that protocols are being already tested and all the kind of things, so you actually can come and be safe and feel safe. As you know, also some government, like the governments, the airlines, airports are trying to work on safety protocols so they can stop the spreading of the virus. So definitely, with how things are going and the time is passing, we're gonna get better protocols to take care of every person, either they're traveling for tourism or they're not traveling for tourism.
Yeah. So yeah, and essentially, we believe it's safe to wait until March. We have a lot of travelers that have said they're waiting until June also to do all of the tourist places around Peru.
Yeah.
So in general, what are the key things to keep in mind if you want to travel during the COVID era?
So the things that you have to keep in mind right now, essential trips are just going on. So right now, if you're still here in Peru and you want to go back to your country, definitely you need to contact your embassy, because the only way to leave the country is through humanitarian flights. So definitely, you gotta check that with the embassy, and if there's any tour agency that it's booking some, like having some charter flights to the destination you need to go, take an opportunity to buy the ticket, because until now we still don't know how many time this is gonna take. As I already mentioned, everyone is taking some protocols. So if in any moment you feel that you need to travel, this is something that only us can answer. If you really want to travel, it's something very personal, but we also suggest that you have to consult this with your doctor if you have some medical issues or like preconditions. Definitely ask your doctor if it will be safe for you to travel or not. So that's right now what we want you to have in mind. Keep in mind that this is something that you need to do.
And I just shared this map, this great map that Kayak has, that shows up to date, up to the minute information of travel restrictions around the world. So that would be a great thing to have. So, what are the protocols then that are happening in Peru in the airports?
Well, in right now for the airports, what they're doing is, first, you cannot enter with any companion unless it's strictly necessary. Second of all, what they're doing is taking your temperature, and they're disinfecting the soles of your shoes. Also, they ask people to go to the airport with a face mask and a face protector, a facial protector, the face shield. Also, another thing is like they're asking people to keep like a meter of distance between them. Also, they asking people to arrive between 3 hours before your flight. That's the only time that they're gonna let you in. um what else? Basically, and finally,
What kind of
the
health?
yeah, the health statement. So, oh, it's difficult to hear. Yeah, give me, can is it better? The Okay.
Yes,
So
that's
as I was saying, another thing is that they asking a health statement where you have to put all your information, your personal information. So you can give it to the airline, and if there's any case or anything that they need to contact you, definitely, um, they with this information that they will be able to do so.
and I just shared the PDF. So this PDF is what the airlines and also Flavia?
Sorry,
Anyway,
you kind
sorry.
of, no,
Yeah. So the
no,
statement I just sent it through the comments so people can print it out, and that's what they're gonna need at the airport or for buses.
exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So
So now the protocols for airlines.
exactly. That's what I was going to. Thank you, Susana. Well, the airlines, what they're doing right now, they're suggesting to do the check-in online. Well, you must do it online. However, if you need to drop some luggage or baggage, what you have to, what they are doing is the counters. They have this shield between the passenger and the the personnel, and both of you will have a face mask, a closed mask, and it's like you just hand your passport, you just leave your luggage there, and you're good to go to the gate. Then before, while you're embarking, they're gonna keep like the safety distance that it's 1 meter per person. You have to wear the whole time your face mask and your face protector. So please keep in mind that you don't have to forget that. Um, they're gonna they're gonna ask you for your health statement, and they're gonna disinfect before and after using the airplane. They're gonna disinfect it. Bathrooms are gonna be disinfected. Will be disinfected like every 15 minutes. That's what some airlines are doing. What we're saying right now are the guidelines from Latam. So basically that's what they're doing. If you ask, for example, for a blanket or a pillow, those will be watched in every between every flight. So yeah, that's what they're
You
doing
talked
right
about the HEPA filter, right?
now. Exactly, they have a HEPA filter to eliminate like 99 of the viruses that are in the air, but basically they're trying to do it as protective as possible, you know.
Yeah. And everyone should be taking, their gel, their alcohol for disinfecting, but that will also be available by the airlines on airplane.
Exactly. They will have hand sanitizers and all of that.
And ground transportation.
Well, ground transportation is the same as airports or airplanes. The only difference is that they ask you to come like 3 minutes before before the bus departs. But we highly suggest to go a little bit earlier, like between an hour and 45 minutes, because of course the embarking process might take a little bit longer. But that's what they're saying.
Cool. So, we're all traveling, whether it's to the store or by taxi, by car, with new things that will protect us on the way. So, tell us a little bit, Flavia, about what you think we should be traveling with internationally.
Yeah, well, as we were talking, face masks and face shields are the first thing that you gotta have. Then, of course, some hand sanitizer, at least 60% of alcohol base. Disinfecting wipes if you can get them. I know that right now it's kind of hard to get them, so if it's possible, get them. Another thing, reusable water bottles, because right now it's better to that you're handling your own stuff and all those things. And if you can get in Amazon, this is something that I love, and when I saw it, is this door opener, no touch door opener. So I have seen it in Amazon, and I know that a lot of people can get it. But if you can, please just go do it, and you can just open anything without touching, and you disinfect it, so you never touch any surface. If you caught like another thing is some alcohol too, but basically that's right now what we suggest to always keep it as a kit if you're traveling during COVID.
Great. We're going to answer some questions that are coming through at the end. So, what should we do to stay safe, like beyond carrying these disinfecting material? What else should we do?
Well, first of all, keep your distance, maintain your distance. That's the first thing. 1 meter at least. If you're sneezing or coughing, cover it, please. If you're feeling sick, please do not travel. It's better to be safe than sorry. Another thing is avoid crowds. If you see a place that is really, really crowded, don't go. Try to be a little bit far of it. Another thing is if you go to the bathroom, wash your hands at least for 30 seconds, of course, with the right technique, so we can kill all those viruses and materials that we have in our hands.
Okay, so for the people who are thinking of traveling next year to Peru, what are some of the things we should be starting to plan ahead when we're booking and we're planning our trip?
Okay, so that kind of things, the first thing that you have to do is communicate with your travel agency and check with them what regions are open, what cities, if they're under quarantines or not. Um, then the size of the groups, if you think to get shared tours, please ask. Then another thing is, um, sorry, uh, oh, I'm sorry, I just got caught. So as I
We
was
went
saying,
through size of the tours,
yeah,
making sure the regions of Peru are open because some are still in
exactly.
quarantine. Archaeological sites, museums,
Yeah, check
make
with
sure
them.
that these are open, and insurance is a big thing.
Oh yes, and finally, what we always suggest is like get insurance in medical and travel international insurance. Make sure that the policies they have, they cover any COVID case in medicine. If you feel like really bad, the whole thing in the hospital. Also, if you have to cancel your trip for COVID, you just gotta check it out. So please. Do so. But basically, it's like checking everything with your travel agency about the archaeological sites, the sites groups, what protocols they're also implementing. That's really, really necessary. So don't book if you don't know that.
Yeah. And we're going to post more information about international travel insurance because we think that's the best decision that any traveler can make during these times. Because, and it's specifically one that covers COVID related issues like treatment, testing, and any cancellation that can happen because of it. If you have to stay, if there's any positive, testing and you have to be quarantined before traveling, all of those things. So we'll
Exactly.
be posting more information about that. Um, so in terms of, before we get into the safety protocols that we're implementing, what kind of will the prices change for tours and other things that people will want to book when they come next year?
So for next year, we're expecting prices to maintain. So the 2020 prices that we're seeing tourism, even though we have to invest in these protocols, a lot of travel agencies, and one of them is us. What we're doing is maintain those prices. Of course, also to reactivate tourism, please stay tuned for some special offers, special deals that we're gonna have. And airlines, the tendency right now is to have really, really good deals for flying, and they also are applying some flexibility to their policies. So definitely check them out before you're booking. But another thing is that basically we're trying to keep everything as the same so we can make this work.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into a little bit of the policies that we're implementing. If you can get your
Yeah.
PDF that you made, a little presentation for us, and then right after we finish with this presentation, we're going to answer your questions from readers and then from past comments that we've received over the last few days.
Exactly. So here's the protocols that we're implementing as traveling and living in Peru. So first of all, what we're doing is trying to secure the biosecurity of our passengers that are coming here, so the COVID doesn't spread. And first of all, I'm going to talk about the measures taken towards the passenger. What we're doing with our passengers first is before prior arrival, we're asking for them to send us any medical pre-existing condition that they have, so we can keep this in mind. Then the passengers must bring their own preventive equipment as the mask and the face shield, and this is because you will need it for the tours and for the international flights and provincial trips. Then your luggage, you have to carry your luggage all the time. The driver will only help you uploading and downloading the luggage from the car, but that's it. This is to avoid contact. Um, then the temperature will be taken before and after the tour. So if you have more than 38 degrees Celsius, unfortunately, we're gonna tell you to not continue with the tour services. This is like as a prevention. Also, we're gonna maintain the distance between passengers of 1 meter. If it's not gonna be possible, we're gonna do our best to take the protective measurements to and equipment to guarantee this. And if any passenger has any symptom, and we know that, we're gonna assist you in activating your travel insurance, and you and your companions must quarantine at your hotel. The quarantine time is 14 days. Please keep this in mind. Then we have the measures that we're gonna take with our drivers and our guides. So the first thing, they're gonna maintain the distance with the passenger for a 1 meter distance. We will provide absolutely every protection equipment for them, like face masks, face shields, hand sanitizer, that you will also use in our tours and and transfers and everything like that. Then we're gonna communicate the guidelines from MINSA, of hygienes for them, so they know what they have.
Yeah.
Then the driver and the guide will communicate with the passenger only through a microphone, so they won't be close to you and you all can't hear them. So what we're gonna do is implement this, give them this, so they can address to you. And this microphone will be disinfected after each use. Then, what is the preventive equipment that we're giving them? The surgical mask, the face shield, some hand sanitizer, and a digital thermometer. Remember, we're taking the temperature of each passenger before and after. So that's why all of them, guides and representatives of services, will use this thermometer to take your temperature. Then the another preventive measure is like we will count with the certificate of our drivers and guides that are negative COVID-19 tests. So for sure that they already took the test, and they are negative. Of course, this is gonna be something that we're gonna do it very continually. So you're secure that you're receiving a really good service. And finally, we're gonna work with any other biosecurity measurements that the government will give us. Of course, this is something that we already had from MINSA, but still, if there's something additional, we're gonna keep implementing. Then the measurements that we're gonna take for our transportation. So in the vehicles, what we're gonna do is sanitize absolutely everything before and after use. Each vehicle will have this wet access floor with also they will have hand sanitizer, gel alcohol, and for external use and everything. And the drivers will wear gloves to grab your luggage, to help you to upload it or download it, and will be cleaning and disinfecting the transportation units as always. For the boats that we have, the boats normally we use it for going to Euros in Puno. So those will be disinfected the same way as the transportations before and after use. We're gonna incorporate in a visible place the whole information, the whole vessel information, and if they what else the sanitary provisions that the personnel has and everything. we're gonna keep record and control of cleaning and disinfection of the boat. Also, for the tours, we're gonna avoid crowds. So we're gonna go, if we see like here's a group already doing the Uros or Tequila tour, we're gonna try to go through another direction. So we try not to be with more people. We're gonna disembark in the right places as always. Keep the ventilation, of course, of the vessel, so you feel a little bit more safer, and keep the distance, the safety distance. Then, measures taken for adventure operation. What is the adventure operation that we have? It's mostly like hikes, as Inca Trail, as Laguna Humantay, and other adventure trips, Salcantay, etc., etc. What we're doing, I know that this is like you have your own things, so we're gonna uh, check out, check that everything that is yours will be only used by you. No one else can use it. So just don't be worried. We're gonna disinfect absolutely everything too. We're gonna come with a lot of alcohol and all the equipment, so we cannot run out in the whole tours. This 4 days tours, the 4 days hikes that we have. We're gonna ensure the physical distance and also monitor absolutely everything that the disinfectation, the disinfection and cleaning, it will be like all the time. And finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about the passenger route from arrival to destination. So basically, when you arrive, our personnel will identify you. Either way, is in the international zone or the national zone, depending how the protocols in the airport are gonna be. And your temperature will be taken before you board our car to take you to your hotel. Then you're gonna walk to the parking area, and with the safety distance, we're gonna give you some hand sanitizer before you embark and after you disembark. All the information will be given through a microphone. uh, Also, you're gonna use a mask. The mask is mandatory. And finally, everything they're gonna wear gloves so they can help you with that. And that's the whole presentation. So thank you.
Thank you. I think all of these, every tour operator, every agency in Peru is really trying to implement all of these and have them standardized since now, until international travelers can come and visit Peru. Let's get into some questions that we have. One of them is, some people have their tours booked for this year, and do we suggest they wait or they reschedule? And it's still, since we don't have official information about when flights will operate, and given the numbers that Peru has for people infected, we do suggest you wait until next year to do tourism in Peru.
Yeah.
But again, we will provide the information for when international flights start operating. And we have a follower, Oliver, who has inside information about international flights, saying it's mid-November. And again, we hope so. We've heard also,
Yeah.
people talking about these dates. So it's October, November, or end of the year. So we're hopeful, and once the second we get that information, we'll share it with everyone. Another question that we had is, are airlines requiring COVID tests prior? And yeah.
Okay. So not yet. That's not a requirement right now. I know that other countries are asking for this, but Peru right now they're not asking any COVID tests prior taking an international flight. Uh, Only they were asking for this to travel to Cajamarca, from Lima to Cajamarca or Jaén. So you had to arrive to the airport 5 hours before, but that's the only case that they were asking for the test. But after that, we don't have any other information that Minsa has given or the government. So definitely not now, but might be a possibility. We don't know. Everything it's like still we're waiting for that.
Yeah. And Abraham just messaged. So the international borders opening and for tourism to reactivate, all of that is part of the phase 4 that initially was supposed to start in August, but that's been postponed, and we don't know when that will start. Again, we're hoping October, November, but we need that official confirmation. And so we know that next year definitely we will start operating, tours across Peru.
Exactly. And to complement a little bit what Susana said, what we said at the beginning that we suggest that tourism can start like a little bit more in March, it's because what the tendency we're looking at. But definitely, we just gotta wait a little bit more to see how things are going and how everything is developing, like developing. So before you take a decision, but of course, talk to your travel agency and see what policies they have, if they're a little bit more flexible with everything. So definitely please take a look at it.
Yeah. Okay, so some questions we received throughout the week by Facebook and email. So do we need to isolate for a certain amount of days once we arrive in Peru?
Okay, so right now international flights, yes, you need to isolate for 14 days. So
Humanitarian flights, yeah.
exactly, as soon as you arrive to the group 8, they some personnel from Minsa, they take you to the hotels to do this isolation for 14 days, and then you can go back home. Later, we don't know how that's gonna work, but this is the information that right now we do have.
Are restaurants open only for outdoor dining?
No, actually, what there some of them are open, but they're only working for with 40% of their capacity. So yeah, if you want to go, of course, they're taking all the measurements to do so, but only 40%.
Yeah, and throughout this whole state of emergency in Peru, a lot of restaurants have implemented a great delivery service. So there's a lot of options, especially in Lima. If you don't feel comfortable going to a restaurant, but they are open, you can also order delivery.
Exactly.
So what is open to the public at the moment?
So what it's open for the public are malls, some restaurants, but nothing else. So tourist attractions, they're closed. Pubs, clubs, they're closed. So the only options are those that I just already said.
Yeah, so stores, restaurants, pharmacies, banks, all of that.
Yeah.
Um, so when will the state of emergency be over and when can we travel? We talked about this, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
It's good to remind you that we still don't have any official information. I know we all want to know when this will end and we can go back with our loved ones. But as we say, we heard from the Minister of International Commerce and Tourism that might be at the end of the year, beginning of the next year. But Carlos Canales is suggesting and is asking to see if this can be before, if they can open borders before, but still we don't have that official information. We're gonna post it as soon as we have it, definitely. So I just stay tuned and we're gonna do that for you guys.
And another question from Doug: do you think the U.S. will be banned from entry as they did with in Europe? And Well, we just received some news, right, about the U.S. has now lifted their what was it that it's not only essential travel that you can do, but you can also
No,
now travel
yeah, yeah,
regardless of whatever you want. So that's a good step from the U.S. And I don't know, Flavia, what do you think? Because there's a big population of Peruvians in Peru, in the U.S.,
exactly.
families that have been separated, like mine, like yours.
Yeah,
So I don't think that that will be the case. It all depends, obviously, on the numbers
of
in the
case.
U.S. and in here.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think it'll happen, but
Yeah, still we don't know. Definitely, as you said, like already the US has lifted the restrictions. However, they have included us in the list. Well, they do not
right
recommend to travel
at the moment,
at the moment, of course, but it will all depends of the what the government will say. Unfortunately, we cannot read minds, as you have seen in the whole time that we having quarantine and everything. From one moment to another, they were taking decisions, like when they leave when they say you're gonna start with the national flights, and then from one day to another they say again Cusco, Cusco, Juliaca, Hilo, it's under quarantine. So the Arequipa, there won't be more flights there, and from one day to another the flights were canceled.
yeah.
So
There's a
definitely,
lot. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's a lot that is, being implemented on a daily, hourly basis based on, the situations that are happening in different parts of Peru. Another question that we had was, do we see international flights within South America starting first? And that could be a possibility. But again, we don't know.
yeah, we're not sure. I was reading also that they are suggesting to open international flights with one frequency per day at least. So they can give option to other people to travel to some destinations for now, but still, that's pending. We don't know, but as soon as we get the information, we're gonna post it.
Yeah. And Doug is moving permanently to Peru. He was supposed to be here already. And
Oh,
yeah, I mean, we hope we hope they open soon. I mean, it's something that we all really, want, and yeah, we're hoping for the best, what's best for everyone.
exactly.
And just to let everyone know, we're going to post an article with all the information that Flavia has provided us, the PDFs, the links, all of that. Whatever questions you guys have, you can definitely contact us through Facebook. But Flavia is also available for any questions you guys have about anything about traveling to Peru next year. She is great, and she will answer you as quicker than a fly. um,
And
and she's available via email. It's FH, right? At
yeah, in Peru,
livinginperu.com. Sending
yeah,
it to people.
yeah, if you need to contact me, please feel free to do so. I will answer any question that you have. And another thing that I want to mention to you guys is that if you really think that you want to travel to Peru for tourism next year, please feel free to us to plan ahead. We're gonna do our best to help you and give you the best recommendations. And of course, please do not feel pressure that you have to pay before. We're gonna work in the we can work on the itinerary and wait a little bit when the time is coming. So then closer to the time you can pay, but for now, like, it's all right, you just go ahead and ask.
Yeah. And thank you everyone for joining us today. And any updates, we'll send it to you guys right away. Thank you, Flavia, so much.
Now, thank you, Susanna, and thank you everyone to be here. So see you in another opportunity. So bye bye.
Bye, guys.